Welcome to the Ascension Path with Twin Essence. I'm Lacey.
And I'm Marley, and we're your Starseed Lightworker and Psychic Medium hosts.
We're identical twins with spiritual abilities and Starseed missions on Earth. On the Ascension Path, we discuss what it's like to be identical twins serving in a spiritual capacity and provide insights into our work as Starseeds. We create a sacred space to receive channeled messages, intuitive teachings, and expansive conversations that elevate your frequency and support your evolution. Join us to learn about navigating the path to Ascension and becoming the most authentic, aligned version of you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. In this episode, we are talking all about the Vindimiatrix Star beings and Starseeds. So, connecting to the Vindimiatrix, they are associated with the Virgo constellation. Now, just saying that out loud, I'm sure there's 100 Virgo suns out there like, oh, that must be my Starseed lineage. And I think we maybe have talked about this in previous episodes, but it's a little bit more complex than that. No, astrology is not necessarily tied to your starseed lineage, although there are sometimes lifetimes you've had on those stars or constellations, as you obviously chose to incarnate with those specific planets and stars and placements at that time on Earth. But what we see with our Vindemiatrix Starseeds is they're just a very interesting group, and they aren't all Virgos, like Marley said. It's far too easy to try to assign astrology zodiacs to the constant, yeah, to the starseed type, right? Like,
Yeah, the Starseed.
it's actually a very third dimensional thought process, and I'm not shaming anybody for immediately jumping to that. Like I said, you probably have had lifetimes associated with those constellations at some point, but your origins are more complex than that, and galactic energies and beings are a little bit more complex than that, which is why we're here to help guide you through this. Vindemiatrix are really a very niche, but you hear us say niche a lot. They are a more rare starseed type, though. We do not see like tons and tons of Vindemiatrix starseeds, but we have read them before. Yes, we have. And being associated with that Virgo constellation, it's not that surprising that there actually are a lot of Virgo traits that we see in Vindemiatrix starseeds. Energetically speaking, because we do like to share visuals and the different imagery that they send us, Vindemiatrix tend to come through with like orange and yellow, like it's very much like fiery type colors. A very warm, fiery color palette is how it comes through. I like to think of them as these little like fiery pixies. I don't know if that's a type as a thing, but I always want to describe them as like this pixie look, but with like a fiery appearance. So I don't mean like they're teeny tiny beings. I just mean they have what I would call like Tinkerbell features.
Yes.
Like it's shorter hair if they have hair. They're very petite and very like fine with the little details on their faces and their like hands. They have that orange fiery energy that comes through. They aren't as sassy as Tinkerbell is in Peter Pan, though, but they're passionate.
Yes.
And they're very artistic and creative. And so we see this when we connect to their starseeds on Earth. They tend to be these like visionary creatives. Like we give 3D examples of careers they might have on Earth. They are like the photographers, they are your painters, your artists, jewelry makers, like honestly, metalsmiths, that comes to mind, like people who make like metal art or like lawn art. It's a very eccentric, unique, creative process, I feel like their starseeds go into.
Even interior designers, I would say too.
It's all about, it's quite Virgo actually when you think about it. Because it's all about the ways in which they see the world through the lens of organization and creativity. It's like this balance and integration between the free-flowing creativity, but also organizing it and creating order out of it. I think of it as creating order out of chaos. Yes. Yes, it's like I imagine it like you're in the loft, like this art studio loft, and it's like there's like 100 projects going on everywhere, paint's open, messes everywhere, but at the same time, it's all carefully curated and crafted by them because that is what they need in order to uh, bring forward whatever it is that they're trying to birth through their creations, through their work, uh, through their connection to the space, their connection with others. This is interesting. There's a Vindemiatrix Star being that's obviously like helping guide the session, or more than one. But the one that is here, she is showing me like a harp. Um, and it's like this reference to, I want to say like the Renaissance times. So it is very like
Yes.
the booming artistic theater, and singing and sound and music. And it feels like they have this unique ability to bring people together through a creative vision or creative process. So I think of like an art gallery showing. I think of like going like Broadway, right? Going to
Yes.
see a play, going to see theater. I think of performance. It's all about the performance. And it's amazing. Like it's amazing how creative and artistic they are, but how they are able to balance that with an intelligent and logical side as well. Yes, that is a spot on, like at the Italian Renaissance. Like that is a spot on 3D historical reference for everybody. It feels like that is a time period that you can point to directly and say, those are some Vindimiatrix Starseeds, or there's some heavy Vindimiatrix energy influencing the collective at that time period. And it was needed, right? Like I think about history and like art is needed. It's needed to us as human beings and as a collective and throughout our cultures. But Vindemiatrix beings, it's like the heart of what they do. And if they are going to be placed into this is going to sound strange here, but as much as they like to organize and they like things to be structured and that very Virgo traits, right? As much as they like that, they can't be limited. And so when we think about challenges their star seeds might experience in a human incarnation, I see it show up as if they have a 3D career and they are being limited by someone in leadership. Like I think of like a boss limiting them or like a position limiting them, that's going to be very hard for them because they're so autonomous in how they organize and how they create at the same time. Like that is what creates their success. And they need that creative outlet in order to balance that logistical, intelligent side of their being. They need to have the balance with the creativity and the creative piece. Actually, it's funny because when she first showed the harp, I thought she was showing me the Guinness symbol and logo, and I was like, they like beer?
Ireland? You're like Ireland?
I was like, they created Guinness and like beer? Like that's what I literally first thought. Gotta reverse that symbol. The
Yeah.
harp. Yeah, reverse the harp. So it was kind of funny, but they are playful, right? They are playful. So
Yes.
that's kind of funny that they bring it through that way. It is very fairy-esque, I would say, with the playfulness there.
I agree.
One of the traits that they do struggle with too is self-criticism. So there's a lot of like they can be overcritical of themselves. They can also be overcritical of others when it relates to the bigger picture. So I'm saying like if they're running an event or something, they might be really critical of not only themselves and how they did it, but they might be like, oh, this person's doing it wrong. It'd be better if I just did it all myself. Like that kind of is the energy of how it's coming through. So I do think their star seeds would struggle a bit with the criticism piece and sometimes taking things too seriously. Yes, because to be successful, they require some level of independence in how they structure and order things. So they don't want to be told by someone else or be forced into a mold. Like you said, Lacey, the example of like an event running. Maybe they're one part of the event, maybe they're just like a speaker or a photographer at the event or the person who designed the wedding cake. Like whatever they are at that event, like I could see them easily falling into that trap of like, well, if you just did it this way it would look a little bit better. Or if you did it this way, the feng shui of the room would be like more accurate or better conducive to what you're trying to create here. And they really need permission to color outside the lines because like the beauty of what a Vindemiatrix Starseed can create in terms of vision, it's never going to go as planned, but it's supposed to help them be allowed to color outside the lines, because it does end up being very beautiful and being very creative and innovative, but they have to let go of the strains they put on themselves, right? Like the way they try to control themselves and lock themselves down. It's like they have to let go of that and color outside the lines. Like that's what they keep showing me, like coloring. But it's like they need reminders that they're allowed to do that and they don't have to do it the way other people are doing it, because they're always going to have their own unique approach, and it's always going to turn out like even better than they could have imagined, whether they fight it or go with the flow. Yes. And so it's this double-edged sword is how it's described. It's like a mirror we see. So we have these two sides of them, this order, this structure, and then we have this side that is creative and it needs the ability to express, the ability to be free and to be independent in how it's showing up to be birthed appropriately into the world. Um, but it creates this friction at times, like they mirror back to each other. And so it can cause, I think, struggles or a challenge, because as much as you're trying to create, you're also sometimes trying to control them. Like this, the order and the structure can try to control the creation, or can the creation try to control the structure and the order? So it goes back and forth, and that can sometimes create like an internal, I think, conflict with them. It's something I think that they work to balance in their incarnation, though, as individuals. See, and a Vindemiatrix can learn to lean into that playful flowiness, because
Yes.
no matter what they do, they're always going to take a really chaotic situation and be able to create some sort of order out of it, whether it looks that way to other people or not. Yes. And so the message they bring through is like, it's like learning to paint with watercolor versus an acrylic. Like an acrylic paint is going to be bold, but it's a lot more static, right? It's more solid, it's more static. Whereas watercolor, it flows, right? It's sometimes it's going to run. If you're like me and you're not an expert in it, like sometimes it's going to run. Sometimes you can make it darker and bolder. Sometimes it's a little bit more translucent and washed out. And that's the beauty in it, is like learning to balance. It's like this scale of like balance that they have, that they're constantly negotiating or moving between. And I have to say, it's like letting go of control. It's like loosening up the reins. It's the analogy of the bus, like driving the bus. Like they don't always have to be driving the bus, even though they feel like they have to be driving the bus all the time. Like it's okay to put it on autopilot. If a bus had autopilot, right? It's okay to
Cruise
let it.
control.
Yeah,
I don't know if us
let it drive itself. There's got to be a thing like that. Yeah, just let it. It's okay to let it be, or let someone else steer the ship, if you will. Like it's okay to take a break. It's okay to loosen up. It's like they have these extreme, it feels like extreme reactions. Like not everything needs to be life and death. Like not everything needs to be like so extreme. Like sometimes it's okay just the way it is, and you don't need to overthink it and make it something that it's not. Or the other thing that comes through is like how they devote themselves to what they're working on or creating or doing. And this could even be like if they're dedicated to their family, right? Like whatever that looks like for them in their human incarnation, like not letting the external third dimensional society or pressures like change their perception of themselves. And so what I mean by this is like how they're devoting their time and energy to something, whether it's 100% energy in it or only 50%, they shouldn't be judging themselves for that. Because there's a lot of pressure that comes from society, I think, with like traditional roles. Like I think about like mothers, or like being a career woman, like these different archetypes and like labels that we place ourselves into. And they're showing it as, if you can only give 50% to whatever that thing is today, like that's okay. And maybe you're doing that intentionally. Like maybe you can only give 50% here and then you have 20% somewhere else, another 30 somewhere else. Like, and that's probably you controlling and organizing the chaos of how you come through, but don't let the 3D world try to shame you for that either, because this might truly be what you're needed and how you work. And when we move into mission and purpose for a Vindimiatrix Starseed and what these beings Like, what's their role? What are they doing on Earth? What are they here? How are they part of the Ascension process? It's really about how they help balance Earth's ascension with that creative expression. There's a lot of starseeds that are creative in the earthly realm, but a Vindemiatrix is that walking duality perspective in terms of how they balance it. So they typically bring that balance of intuition and logic and then balance it with that artistic expression side. So really like a big part of their mission and what they gift the world is their creative expression in whatever form that is. That's a lot of the purpose and mission in being on Earth. Yeah, and the saying that comes through is I'm gonna say it wrong, but is it life imitating art?
Yep.
Right? And so in in how they structure and balance that within themselves, there's a lesson in that for the others they are interacting with. So others that are coming into contact with them or working with them, they are learning something through that artistic process or through that creative process in how that Vindemiatrix Starseed is creating and balancing and structuring and organizing in order to create the finished product or project or whatever outcome is needed. That in itself is a very valuable lesson for a lot of starseeds on Earth that they are coming when they come into contact with the Vindimiatrix. I think that a Vindimiatrix is also going to experience a lot more of like unexpected events because they feel very in control of their path, and I think they might struggle more with unplanned experiences or emergencies or things that pop up while they're navigating their path. They're going to be challenged that way a bit, and that's part of that life on Earth, right? You need to experience that duality and you need to experience the flow and rhythm of Earth. I think that there's a lot to be learned about co-creation for a Vindimiatrix Starseed too. It comes through to me as something not going their way. And what I mean by this is the example that comes forward is like, but I set out to do this and I planned this and this is how it was supposed to work. And now it's not happening. It's not working the way it's supposed to. And like that could be like a frustration for them they come up against. So whether that be like a specific trip they're planning or art exhibit they're planning or an event that they're planning and like as things are changing within that that could be frustrating to them because they are so put together in what they're creating. They're showing me candles right now too.
Mm.
Like a Vindemiatrix is going to be drawn to candles, and I feel like this is weird shiny objects. Like I feel like I'm like Fire Fairy or Vindemiatrix Star Being. What
Right?
is the
Right.
line? Like that's what it feels like. It's like what is the line here? Um, but yeah, they're talking about candles. Like I feel like they are more drawn to the fire element
Yes.
and that element of ritual and ceremony is what it actually kind of comes through as. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are more prone to full moon ceremonies and full moon releases and doing more of a structured altar approach to their spirituality, actually. Yeah, it actually feels super like moody, heartfelt, like very, very, very deeply connected to their emotions and like how they can channel that through intention in ritual and ceremony. Like they are not going to be a person who just decides on the day of like what they're going to do for their manifestation. They feel very like drawn to the organized like rituals of
Yes.
spirituality. So that's why I mentioned the ceremonies and the full moon rituals, but also like even like manifestation scripting or affirmations, like they feel more drawn to like
Yes.
an organized structure. And I want to pop back to that. Like I'm glad you brought up manifestation again because the co-creation, I think that can be a challenge because as much as they are scripting things and they're specific, I think they know what they want. Like they're really very specific on it, right? That's that Virgo element there. But that can also be a challenge because then they're trying to figure out the how and they could be over controlling how the universe is going to bring something through or the outcome of it versus leaving it up to source, leaving it up to the universe to provide, to deliver whatever it was you put the order in and the universe will provide for you. So it's a reminder to their Vindemiatrix Starseeds to step back sometimes. Like, you have it planned out, but at the same time, you put in the order. Let the universe worry about how they're going to get it to you. You know what's really funny is, like, they were giving me the analogy of, like, an artist or musician who writes a song but then, like, can't listen to their own song because they're like, I'm too critical of myself. Like, I'm just gonna judge myself. Or, like, they can't be a dancer because they're going to judge their performance. Like, there's some of that
Yes.
element to what they do. Or they paint, but they don't ever want to sell their paintings. Or they
Yeah.
write and they never want someone to read what they write, right? Like, yeah, and it feels like they need the permission slip to bring their creativity into the world and not be held back by self-criticism or judgment or fears of the external world, because this is really a way in which they are keeping themselves small and outsourcing their power. That's what we see with Vindemiatrix Starseeds. And they can also try different things. Like, you can grow out of things and need to move to something different because it's no longer giving you the same passion or joy that it once gave you. Yes, like, they definitely bring through that message that your art is going to evolve. Your creative process is going to evolve. It's okay to change your mind, change what you're doing, change your business, change your career. It's important that you have the ability to continue to evolve, because as much as you are evolving and your creations are evolving, like, it's very closely tied into their identity and how they work. If you don't allow yourself to change or evolve, that is where we're going to see you not aligning with your cosmic DNA. Like, this is how you are wired. So if you're going to be resisting that, maybe your Virgo nature is going to cause you to try to resist that change. That's not part of the plan, right? Then you're not living in alignment with that DNA, that blueprint. And so that is where it's really important that understanding this cosmic origin, your lineage, and how that serves as a blueprint through this incarnation can really help you find alignment on your path and ultimately ascend. 100%, it's absolutely what a Vindimiatrix needs to be able to live and learn and grow with. It's let go of the plan. It's okay to deviate from the plan, because you need to let your path take shape and not be so rigid in everything. Also, I just want to point out that, like, all I had pop into my head when you were talking about deviating from the plan was the Hannah Montana song, the Hannah Montana movie song that's like, you can change your hair and you can change your clothes, you can change your... I can't remember all the words to it. That's the way it goes. You can like the... everybody. All right. On your way back home. Yes, so now we're singing on the podcast. So see what the Vindemiatrix are capable of. Yes, we are channeling them right now. We never would have sang on the podcast ever, but because we have this Vindemiatrix being, they're guiding us through this process. You can say we're okay expressing ourselves in that way on the podcast now, and it doesn't matter if it's not good. So do you see what happens now? They just showed us, and this is actually a really perfect example of how working with different star beings can really help you work through different blocks, limitations, or belief systems you have. Because God knows Lacey and I would never hop onto a stage to ever sing karaoke. We actually... Not true. If Harry Styles asked me, I'd say I'll be there in a minute. Okay, that's completely different. Okay, first of all, Harry Styles is like a earthian god to us. John Bon Jovi. So is Bon Jovi. We always say they're like our earthly masters. Like, seriously, we do say that, and so spirit will communicate through them with us. If it's a Bon Jovi song, like, you know it's real. Yeah, like, spirit. Like, no joke, we could be anywhere in the airport. This actually does relate to the story I was just about to tell, though, because, like, when we were on our way to Belize, it was like we were in the airport, and then it was like it was taking forever. Everybody's having all these issues with the flights, and so we were also lucky enough that we had even made it to Texas, to where we needed to hit our connection to Belize, and just so many things were going wrong that day. But we saw Bon Jovi on the TV, and we knew, we were like, okay, it's in spirit's hands. We are being divinely guided today. It's going to be okay. We will get to Belize. We also like take pictures of signs in places that say slippery when wet, because it just... So this joke will make sense to nobody unless you know Bon Jovi, but it is one of their albums, and so that is like a common thing we do. Everywhere we go, we have signs of slippery when wet. When we were at Bon Jovi, it's a spirit sign for us.
then when we were at the one temple in Belize, there was legit a sign that says "Slippery when wet," and we were like, we made it. Bon Jovi sign. Thank you, Spirit. It was it was literally the best thing ever. We think it's funny. It's incredible, honestly, how this works. But what I was saying was when we were in Belize, actually, and how this relates to this connection of like working with different star beings to help you through blocks or limitations or belief systems, is that in Belize, we actually had an opportunity to sing karaoke. And we were getting pressured, of course, by like the whole group. They wanted us to sing. We were like, we're not singing karaoke. Like, we would never do that. No. And no bribes would do it for us. I'm like, you can buy all the drinks in the world. This is not going to happen. And so one of the people on the trip, an older gentleman said to us, he's like, honestly, you're not gonna sing karaoke in a country with a group of people that you'll never see again. You're probably never gonna sing karaoke in your life. And we said, you're correct, Bob. That probably will not happen for us. And so now here we are today on our podcast. We can sing a little bit of a tune and not get embarrassed by it. Again, connecting to Vindemiatrix Star beings, this just shows you the comfortability with the creative process because we are comfortable speaking and sharing in this creative process for us. And so it allows us to show that side of ourselves that we maybe normally wouldn't want to show on a recording or publicly on social media. Yeah, I don't think the album's coming out anytime soon from Twin Essence over here. But like I say this, watch it be a prediction. Like all of a sudden, Lacey and I are gonna have like an album. We'll have like an EP of meditation music that like we actually sing and record. Watch it happen. There we go. There it is, universe. Let's see if this is a bluff. Yeah, I would. That would actually be really cool. How many of you would love a Twin Essence album to meditate to? Honestly, tell us in the comments for real. Maybe in the membership. Maybe we'll take that to the membership. We might. Like, hey, do you want us to mix something up? We have guitars. We do have guitars. We do self-teach. We can do a little bit on the guitar. Do a little bit. We are pretty musically very basic. Inclined. We are musically inclined. Yes. We just we never chose singing as the instrument, if you will. No. But we could play instruments and we can read sheet music like nobody's business. I love some sheet music. I can still read it really, really well. I draw, I can paint. I'm a little bit creative in that way, and I will sell my art too. So that's just something that I do every now and then when I'm inspired. But music is frequency, right? Yes. All about frequency. Yes. So the fact that we are talking about this during the Vindemiatrix episode is interesting because I was going to say, I can see them being musicians and using sound as a frequency that they communicate through, that they heal through and serve spiritually through. Yes, I get that imagery as well. It's like they're either on stage playing or recording, or even being somebody who is in the crowd and loves music as a frequency. That is totally a Vindemiatrix trait. And you don't have to ask us twice. Concerts are a transformational, transcendent experience. Yes, it's very important if you're doing them right. Yes, it's a very important collective process. We've talked about this before. But yes, so with that Vindemiatrix star beings, they are that fiery, creative, visionary, organized, that order, chaos, order, which is ironically an album by Callum Hood that we love. That's a great album. I did it on purpose. It just popped in. And do you see the play that these beings are bringing through us right now? We love the play as it is, so of course we would naturally connect to the. If you're watching the video, I keep gesturing behind me like it's like the beings right there between Lacey and I right now. We're like, look at us, we are playing hard right now. Yes, they're just these fun little beings that come through with that playfulness of a fairy or pixie, but they have that fire energy and they balance out that intellect with the visionary. So I would call them somewhat of a galactic or cosmic visionary. And their starseeds, really interesting, right? Really interesting to balance out the control, balance out the play. Yes. Let me put it this way. If you are somebody who is looking to work with a photographer or a designer on a wedding dress, or even designing the cake and decorating the cake, or a designer in a space, or an artist that is painting something for you, or making a special jewelry piece for you, Vindemiatrix Starseeds are where it is at. I think that is who you will want to work with. They are going to maximize the creative process while also structuring it, creating order with it, and connecting to you in that process. And it's a fantastic balance between creative and intellect. Like, there are other starseeds who might outsource a bit to the artistic side, but like a Vindimiatrix is going to keep it 50-50. They're going to keep it pretty balanced for you, so there's not too much chaos going on. And that is why we can talk this way in this episode. You saw us just go completely off course, laughing, joking, telling stories, singing, just like a Vindimiatrix would want us to. And now, once again, we've wrapped it back in true Virgo nature here. Lacey and I are not Virgos in any way, so it's kind of funny. Virgo energy is always like, North Node. Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. It's like a, North Node in Virgo. I'm like, I don't need any more Virgo. Like, I already have enough time in my masculine energy. I can go as a generator. Right? Right. But I say that because now we're able to come back in, rein it in, create some more structure and order in what we're sharing. But let us know in the comments if this resonates with you, if you identify as a Vindemiatrix Starseed, or even let us know in the comments if you're thinking Twin Essence needs to sing a lot more and create a lot more music. And you know what? Maybe that album, maybe that'll come to the Starseed Portal membership, right? Maybe I think it will. That would be the first place to find out. I will tell you that much. A safe community of Starseeds. Yes, that would be the first place it would be shared. I will say the Starseed Portal membership, it has more of the exclusive access to us. So there's a lot more of the BTS behind the scenes stuff of Twin Essence. And it is going to be your place to truly move into alignment with your very cosmic DNA. So whatever your specific starseed challenges are, like in the case of a Vindemiatrix, you might need to loosen up a little bit, move more into that play. This is all about aligning to that mission and purpose and your starseed lineage and being able to move into that with ease and grace and create the desired reality that you're looking for, right? We're talking a ton about liberation. This is the safe space for women to come to and be liberated of fear and judgment. There's nothing to be scared of. That's why we're here to help guide you. We're here to help you move into alignment and free yourself of the 3D programming and constructs that are keeping you playing it small. You are invited, and keep in mind that you've already been selected. So when you say yes, that is when the true work starts, because you are changing your energetic frequency and saying, I am no longer available to this. I'm now available to this energetically. So let us know if you're interested. The link is in the video description. But yes, welcome to the Starseed Portal membership. See you soon.